On April 13th, 2022, the sports world witnessed a gender-bearing barrier shattering moment. After the San Francisco Giants' first base coach, Antoine Robinson, was ejected from the game at the top of the third inning, Alyssa Nakin stepped in as first base coach and became the first woman to ever coach in a Major League Baseball game. You might have not heard of it unless you are an average sports fan like myself, and this got me thinking, why aren't there any women stepping up like her and trying to be a coach in a male-dominated field? There is a slight problem with that, and I am confident with myself being a sport management major that I will direct you in the correct solution to this topic. Now I will explain to you the problem at hand. The problem is that there aren't enough women coaching or having a management position in male-dominated sports. According to Sports Betting Dime, only 3% of men's teams are in fact coached by women. Also, only 40% of women's sports are coached by women, and that number is decreasing as we speak. Comparing that to the 1970s, where that number was at 90%. Comparing the 70s to now, that is about a 225% decrease in women coaches in women-dominated sports. Now, there were less women's sports teams back then, so that percentage is going to be higher than what it would be. Going back to the present, if there isn't a change soon, there will more than likely not be any spots open to women, and there will be no gender diversity in sports in general. And that is what I do not want to happen. Just think about it. There would be no more inspiring stories like Becky Hammon, who was the San Antonio Spurs assistant coach for a couple of years, but now is the head coach of the Las Vegas Aces. With that being said, we need more women in male-dominated sports, and I have a solution for this, and I will be happy to explain it to you. The best solution would be to make a rule or statement that each team or organization must have a certified woman working for the team. You also want to make sure that they have the proper job experience. You just don't want to have a random person just working for a multi-million or multi-billion-dollar organization. That could basically be a make or break for a decision that's not going to work out well. This, in fact, can change the 3% to a higher number and change the landscape of sports in general. Also, this will inspire more women to coach and show them that they can succeed if they put enough time into their field, which gets me to a rule in the NFL that has already taken place and is impacting it as we speak. And that rule is the Rooney Rule. The Rooney Rule is a rule that the NFL started that's in 2003 that stated that each team must interview a minority or diverse candidate when a coach or anybody in high management either leaves or retires. This past month has expanded to include women, which is a great step for the NFL. There are also many outcomes that will happen if we choose to do this solution or not. If we do this solution, what my solution is, the sports world will become a better place for women and in fact, everybody in general. More people will want sports, especially women, which then there will be more women that will be inspired to take important roles in an organization or coach, which will start overwhelming support for these women. Going to the complete other side, which will bring it to the polar opposite, without this rule, the sports world would turn back into all men's coaching and we would get nowhere in the sports world. You will not be able to find any more women coaching women's sports or male sports because there will be male-dominated, men dominating the entire sports world 100%. And that's definitely not. So we're reminding you that since women's coaches are decreasing at a faster rate, it would make sense that we need more women up there. With that in mind, I hope you choose to support me here so we can help create more stories like Alyssa Nakin and Becky Hammon and make sure many more women become more into the sports world.